Hello, everyone. So I thought I would do a little review on John Kuckian's website. I know that a lot of people have been doing that because the guy is so annoying. But see, the difference here is that I actually have experience not only designing websites, I actually specialize in user experience design, you know, which I've been doing for the past 8 years, and graphic design for the past 20 years. So I thought, let's go through the website. And since I'm a user experience, specialist, and I actually do this for clients, I actually look at their digital product, and then I tell them where they're failing or where it doesn't work, and then how they can fix it. I don't know if I'm going to tell this guy how he can fix it, but I'm going to tell him what's wrong. Depends on how I feel. I don't really like him very much, but so let's see. So what I'm going to be using are these 10 usability heuristics by Jacob Nielsen, which is, an eminence in user experience design. I'm not, just so you know, English is not my first language. I did live in the U.S. for 7 years, and, you know, just if I sound kind of weird, that is why. So there's 10 heuristics, and these heuristics help you to evaluate your digital product to see how easy it is to use. So it's kind of like a scientific way to measure it, right? So you have the visibility of system status, that is so that the person knows what is going on at any particular time, and we'll get to these things in detail when we get to the website. Match between system and the real world, so that the website speaks a language that the users understand, and whatever it says, it's clear as water, like super clear, as clean water, not dirty, muddy water. User control and freedom, so they can undo things, that kind of stuff. If they make a mistake, they can go back and fix it, that kind of stuff. Consistency and standards, like it says, it's being consistent throughout the design and even the interactions the user has. Error prevention is preventing errors from occurring. So if you know that something could go wrong, prevent it. It's like, for example, Twitter. When you're writing, a message on Twitter, it tells you how many characters you have left, and that helps you to not make a mistake of writing a really long thing, and then it's like, oh well, it was only 260 characters. Now it's more than that, but whatever characters. But if you know there's a limit to something, or if you know there's something the user shouldn't be doing, then prevent it. Recognition rather than recall. This is because it's easier for people to recognize something than to remember something. It's like when you see someone on the street, right? You see somebody and like, I know that person, but you don't remember their names. That's because the name you have to remember. But because you see their face, you see them, that helps you to recognize them. So having something that's visible, or a visual clue that helps people recognize things, it's a lot easier than making them remember something, Flexibility and efficiency of use. Things that can make the user do things faster, anything that's a shortcut. Like, for example, if you're going to sign up on a form or something, and you can use, like, they let you sign in through your Facebook or whatever, or Twitter, that's a way to get the users to fill out a form a lot faster, and it's less of a problem for them. So that would be an example of that. Aesthetic and minimalist design. Obviously, you don't want things to be overloaded with information and and crazy with a bunch of stuff that is going to make the user it's just going to muddy the information, right? It's not going to make it easier to understand. And then help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. So if I make a mistake using a website, so that it should be easy for me to recover from whatever error I made, and then to be able to know what happened when that error came out, and then recover from it, right? And then help and documentation, which is, just making the help section easy to find, and make it like task, written by task that the user would do in your website or in your app. So it just really, you should avoid doing like really long documentations that nobody's going to read. So just a help section that goes straight to the point and that is tied up to the tasks that the user actually is going to do on your site, so that it's easier for them to find it. So let's go back to Kuckian's website. All right. So first of all, we see this is the menu, right? And supposedly this is the home page here, beauty. Now I don't know why he's calling it beauty. Why not just call it the home page? I mean, it's the home page. Just call it the home page. The other issue I see is that he's not, like you don't see like this item in the menu is not active, right? It looks the same as the other ones. It doesn't have an active state, right? It should have an active state so that I, as a user, know where I am. I mean, if I open this website, I went to get coffee or whatever, and then I came back, and and somebody called me, and I was talking to them or whatever, and then I came back, I would have no way to know what page I'm in, because that's not even like a title. I mean, there's like welcome to Kuckian after, it's a bunch of space here. I don't know why that's there. Just why not just make it active, and why not just call it home? Okay, just that. And then I don't know what this thing, blue cloud thing is. I mean, this I get because it has the product, right? Like this has the product. I get that. This has product. I get that. This has product, I don't know what this shit is. Like, I really have no idea what this crap is. But whatever. So then you scroll, right? Because, see, I'm in the site. This is the first thing I see, and the site is like open. I have it full screen in my laptop, right? My Mac. It's a MacBook. So I have it open, pretty much like full screen, like it's totally open in my computer. And then all I see are this kind of images, but I don't have a call to action to do something. And you should have a call to action. Let's look, for example, let's see. See Jeffree Star in his website. He has a call to action. Shop holiday collection. You click and you go there. And you can see all his holiday collection, right? Huda Beauty. She has a call to action. See, you go shop now. And you go and you shop. See, you have to. Every page on your site should have, a definitive call to action. Like, what do you want the user to do here? So, what does he want the user to do in his homepage? I don't know. Maybe just look at the pictures. I don't know. I really don't know. So then you scroll, because let's say the users are really, let's look it up, and they scroll. Look at all of this space here. Now I know we talked about minimalist design, but this is kind of ridiculous. And then the other thing, look at how tiny the letters are. I mean, really, I used to think in my 20s that putting really tiny fonts was like cool. It's not. Okay, the smallest size that you should use, and I wonder what size this is. But the smallest size that you should use should actually be 14. Let's see. No, see, this is 10. See, right here? It's 10. I mean, that's way too small. And then, this is like big. This is your website. Why are you putting it so tiny? Like, I don't understand why you put welcome to Kuckian. I mean, what is that? Say welcome to Kuckian. Just say it big. Why do you have to say it? It doesn't have to be huge, but it could be a little bigger. I mean, why does it have to be so tiny? I don't get it. And then this stuff in French, I mean, we know you didn't do any of that in France. None of that makeup is made in France. I mean, really, you're not fooling anybody. And then developed by Kuckian in England. Come on, we know by now it's made in China. Okay. It's made in China. All right. Let me close this. I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird, but I'm getting a little bit of a cold. So, okay. So we go and look at all of this space here. Like, if I came here, I would think there's nothing else on the page. Because, I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything else on the page. Why would I think there's anything else? I mean, why is he leaving all of this space? And I think this is just CSS, like bad CSS, seriously. But whatever. And then this, why is this so tiny? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that it has to be huge, but really, like, I don't know. And then look at all of this space again. You know, there's actually there's a rule in design, right? That items that belong to the same group of things should be together, and things that don't should be apart. So this is all his makeup, right? I mean, I get this is pigment and this is lips, but all in all, it's your work, right? It's supposedly, I don't know, your work, and why not get it up a little bit? Like, give it, like, I don't know, 20 pixels maybe, or maybe this space you have here between these two images, you could put it between these. I mean, I don't understand why this ridiculous spaces. And so you have to go see all the way down, and this is not to get kind of like a call to action, but it's not really a call to action because it's not telling me anything. It's just saying pigment, Mayfair, root. That doesn't say anything to me as a user. You know, it should say shop pigments or shop Mayfair or something. I don't know, just something. You really have to. That's the way you're gonna make your website work, honey. I'm 45 years old. I think I have enough experience. So if you want to think you know what you know and you don't want to listen to anybody, because that's what I've been seeing in the past days since you launched this, is you don't take criticism at all. Well, at all. I mean, but whatever. And here's that crappy video that's just so ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous. And then you have this again. So now you have product, and then blue video, you know, and then product. It doesn't make sense. I mean, either put them all together and make them look nice, right, and not this ridiculous spaces that really doesn't make any sense. And you could have. God, there's so many things. I mean, this video, you could have put the video here, right? Like, this could have been the video. Like, I mean, it's 2017, and I've heard you complaining about how your website, quote unquote, crashed because of the images. Like, really, 2017, you can't load images? Seriously? You couldn't load images? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Seriously? Like, how could you not load images? Like, how big are they? What are you doing? Like, are you uploading high-res images to a website and you supposedly know stuff about websites? Really? It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know what to say there, but okay, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would have put the video here. And this would have been like the boom inside. And then when the video ends, then shop whatever, the collection or whatever shit. I don't know. But what do I know, right? And then again, look at all of this space. And then kuckian space, an experience like no other. Right. And then more space. And then this. That you can't barely see it. Okay, so the other thing here is this. See, and this is not a heuristic, really. It's just design, you know. One of the things that's kind of important also in user experience design is contrast, so that people can read text specifically for reading, right? Because you see, it's so, like, the contrast is so low that you can barely see it. And not everybody has 20/20 vision, and there's people that have, that don't see certain colors and stuff like that, so you have to design thinking with that. I'm sorry, that scratching is, my cat trying to get into the room. But I have him out because he's too crazy and he starts playing around, and I'm just not going to be able to do this video. So I think that's it for the home page, right? Or the beauty page or whatever. Okay, so then let's go to lips. Now what the fuck is this thing? And what is this? Look at that space in there. Okay, look at this. Okay, this one is showing up, but then these other ones are not even the correct size, like the width that they should be, or something. I don't know what the hell, but it doesn't look right. Okay, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look right, and it doesn't look good. Okay. But see, there's some images here that actually could have been on the homepage. See, that's how that blue cloud with green that doesn't say anything, You could have used more of these product shots. And then again, a call to action. And then again, here, no call to action. Like right when I get into the page, there's no call to action. All right? Again, all of this space. And then all of this space. I mean, this title is related to this. Why is it so far away? I'm not saying it has to be on top of it or something, but, you could leave like 20 pixels difference, from one to the other. Why does it have to be so far away? Now, a pet peeve that I have, and I really hate, is to put text all in caps. I hate that. I totally hate that. I can't stand it. And this guy is putting stuff like all in caps. I don't get it. Why are you doing that? And then again, tiny text. I guess he put it, maybe he put it all in caps because it's so tiny. And if it wasn't all in caps, they wouldn't be able to read it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It still doesn't make sense to me, and it doesn't look good. So look at this. Look at this crap. Look at this side here on the right. See how that image is like bleeding there? I mean, that's not right. I don't know who made your website, but look at this. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, that's not good. All right. Again, we have this. I mean, it's like the same thing as the homepage. The same thing. Barely any information because there's nothing. And then you have this. They don't need to be this big. Seriously. Like, you could show the product like in one page. Like, oh, let's look at your friend Jeffree Star here. Okay, so in the Jeffree Star website, you see, you can pretty much see like six products at the same time. I mean, and then not only can you see images of the products, but you can add to cart. You can have a quick view, which would pop up like this, see? And then you have information and all that. And see, he does put his ingredients, which is a good thing because that means you care about your customers. Okay? You can see also the price, which is very important because you can see how much it costs before you get into it's less clicks. You don't have to give another click to get in the page to then see the information. You can see it right away. This is very smart design. It works. It's done this way for a reason, okay? Because it's the less friction you have between your customer and buying, the more they're going to buy, right? Which is what anybody would want, right? So you're designing it. It's not, your website is not designed for selling, for really wanting to sell your product. So, yeah, Jeffree Star does it very well. So it's just too big, and not everyone, and you have to think about this, not everybody has a huge monitor or stuff, and if you have laptops or a tablet, I mean, get me most, let me see more products, because that's what I want as a customer. I want to be able to see more products, right? All right. Dinner at 8 by Kuckian. and then we have the whatever. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, why would you make this one? So wait, so there's. Okay, so why is this one special or whatever? Like, why is this one in the center? I mean, maybe because he's 5 and he didn't know how to design it in a way that it wouldn't look shitty, so he had to do everything, you know, exactly divided the same. It's, it's not the most creative design. And then look at this. Look at all of this space here. It's insane. Why? Why does it have to be so big? And then a portion of every sale is donated to the Kuckian Foundation. Okay? And I was seeing, I was listening to like an interview that Petty Page did with John Kuckian. Like, he called her and they recorded this. I mean, he knew it was being recorded. And he was saying, if I remember correctly, that no, that it wasn't going to the... Actually, let me look at that. Let me look at that before I say anything, because I want to be fair here. All right, I watched it. So what he says about this is, it says here, a portion of every sale is donated to the Kuckian Foundation, right? So I'm reading that, and that means that it's going to the Kuckian Foundation, right? So it seems like what he's saying, I mean, he was, I'll link below the video where Petty Page talked to him. The thing is that, she asks him about the Kuckian Foundation, and then he starts saying that, that it's not really the proceeds of the sale is of the sale of the publication that doesn't exist, right? And so the sale from the publication is going to be donated to this foundation, which supposedly exists, right? But it's not a charity foundation. If you thought it was a charity, it is not. And then it's kind of like Trump listening to him in that interview, because he's talking about one thing and then he jumps into something else. So he was talking about this, and then he starts talking about how people can find jobs or whatever in that publication and learn things from him, because he's so brilliant, right? So it's just like, that's not what she was asking you, and stop pussyfooting around it. Let's just be real here. And then he sort of so the thing is that the portions of the sale of the publication was going to be practically zero, that's going to go to the Kuckian Foundation. And then, from what I understood, the Kuckian Foundation then will donate it to something. But since we don't know anything about this foundation, and we don't know who he's going to donate to, we, as customers, would have no idea how much money he donated or who he donated it to, right? I mean, there's no way on the website that you can go and see. Like, I know, like, I'm a Panamanian, right? I live in Central America, the Panama Canal and all that. And here, like, every charity organization, any type of organization that's not out there to make a profit has to put in their website every donation, everything they spent money on. I mean, everything, the toilet paper, whatever, anything, everything, they have to put it in there. So why shouldn't this, why shouldn't he do that? There should be, on the site, one of these, in this menu, there should be something about that. There should be one about the foundation, right? But we'll get to that later. So then the Kuckian Foundation, and I don't know what the hell that means, that it's going to explode in your face, when you bought the thing and then you find out it went to nothing, and then it probably broke you out in hives or whatever, using all that crappy makeup. So then again, these are supposed to be calls to action, right? And there's not one call to action. There's like a lot of calls to action, which is not recommended, right? So, I mean, just for shits and giggles, let's click here. So I clicked on, okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I clicked on the Kuckian foundation, right? And I go to discover. Why? Why is that happening? Like, why am I not going to a Kuckian foundation page? I'm not being picky here, honey. This is not being picky. Like, really, this is pretty basic. Like, I mean, you're gonna talk shit about Laura Lee's site. Really? Let's talk about your website. I mean, I'm clicking on the Kuckian foundation and I go to discover. Discover what? What? And then let's go to Kuckian publication. Let's see if it goes to that. So it says cooking, and then again, look how tiny this is. I mean, really, like, why does it have to be so tiny? I don't understand that. Like, let's see. Why does this have to be so incredibly small? Look at that. Let's make it 14 pixels. Oh wait, this is the font size. Okay, let's make it 14 pixels. And is this a font? No. See, this could be a little bigger. This, I mean, again, it's kind of repetitive, and the logo could have been a little different for the publication, for the foundation. Like, they could be kind of like from the same family, but, you know, I'm sorry. Like, when you just do a logo that's just like a font, I mean, is that really creative? I don't think so. Anyway. So, let's close this. And let's go back. And let's go here. The Kuckian mission. Again, look at this. You can barely see it, right? There's not a lot of contrast. And you want contrast. Some people are not going to be able to see it. And it has nothing to do with age. Mind you, I'm 45. I have pretty good eyesight. But there are people that really have, you know, some vision disabilities, and they won't, whatever you call it, I'm probably not saying it right, but, you know, they're probably not going to be able to see this. But let's go back. Okay, so I clicked on the Kuckian mission, and I go again to discover, and then our message. If I clicked on the Kuckian mission or whatever, if I clicked here, where I go should say the Kuckian mission. I mean, and then, by the way, I clicked on this, it went to discover, and the tab selected, because see here Lizzie has them selected, right? See, it's a different color, and then this ones, although these ones are a lot more, they catch your eye more because they have more contrast, and this one is just kind of lost, right? So, yeah. So, if I clicked on the Kuckian mission or whatever it is, it should say the Kuckian mission, right? Because this is confusing. And then if I click on the Kuckian foundation, again, I'm going to the same page. Like, what is that? I don't get that. I really don't get that. And yeah. All right. We'll get to the footer later. Let's continue. So this is lips, right? Let's go to pigment. Ooh, JavaScript exception. All right. Well, you have some problems, buddy. Okay, now, see, you don't get any images. Let's refresh it, maybe. Let's give it a chance. Let's refresh the page. Nope, it doesn't want to load any images. All right, so see, this is your live website, by the way. And you don't get a logo. Do you see this? There's no logo. I mean, yeah, that's really professional. Very professional looking. Okay, so I have no logo, I have no product images, I have no call to action. That's pretty bad. Okay. And then we go see this here. Okay, let me just go back to the other pages. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, look at that. It took 3 tries. Oh, okay. Again, spoke too soon. No logo, no image. That's great. That's really nice. Really nice. This is not good. How did this launch? I mean, really. You had a year. A year. Okay. A year. Wow. To make this, it's a really short website. It doesn't have a big deal. I mean, again, all the space, caps, all in caps. That's just horrible. And then, well, I'm guessing, right, that there should be an image here or something. And then, see, this is aligned to the right. And then this is centered. Why? Why is that like that? I don't understand that. Why is one thing aligned to the right, the other one is centered? It just doesn't make sense, right? And then look at all this. I mean, I don't know how big the image is or was or should have been because it's not loading, so I can't really tell. So, I don't know. Are these links? Nope. These are not links. I don't know what these are. Like, I don't know. I guess the other colors, but maybe they look like that because they haven't loaded or something. But I don't know how that's supposed to look because I have no idea. This is how it's looking right now. And then again, you put this at the end of this page. Why exactly? Like, why don't you have it in the menu, the kuckian foundation? Like, why is this here? Because you could have, I mean, a Discover, honestly, doesn't really, I would never be expecting this to be under Discover. I would be expecting something else related to makeup, but not like a publication or a foundation or anything like that. I mean, or maybe like you supposedly are like an artist, quote unquote, right? Supposedly. You could have put that stuff in there maybe, like other things you do or something, or I don't know. But that to me would have been Discover. Still, Discover is something that doesn't really communicate something clear to the user. So, you know. Okay, so that's pigment. Let's go to lashes. I didn't see any lashes in that video here. Oh, let's see. Does he have any lash products? I guess he doesn't. So if you don't have any lash products, and I mean you don't, right? Maybe you will at some point, but you don't right now. So then why show this? Take it out. You could have put that actually in Discover. You know, that's something that could have been in Discover because it's not here yet, but it's something that will come. And Discover, you know, that could have been there. That would have kind of maybe made sense there. But if you don't have any lash products, then don't put it on the main menu. When you have lash products, then you put it in the main menu. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, you don't say anything. I mean, talk about unprofessional, you know, that's pretty bad. Okay, so let's go to publication. And I don't know what this communicates, seriously, because it doesn't even have your brand, it doesn't have any of your products. I mean, do you have a blue eyeshadow? I mean, I know you have that green lipstick that you ripped off from Jeffree Star, but I don't remember if you had like a blue eyeshadow or something. I don't know what this blue has to do with anything with your brand or products right now. You have orange, and you have this purple, which is like a horrible combination, by the way. orange or purple are like horrible. So orange, purple, and then I don't remember what the other color was. I don't even know. Anyway, so let's see here. So the kuckian publication. So this is so ridiculous. Like seriously, look at all of this. Wait, I mean, I always like usually when I deal with clients, they usually want to fill every little tiny space, and I'm like, oh, you need space to breathe. To design this space. This though is ridiculous. I mean, this is totally ridiculous. Look at all of this and all of this and all of this. I mean, it's just why? And then look at all of the space between the paragraphs. And then let's look at the alignment. Look, this is not even the same width as the one on top. And then another thing that's like a pet peeve for me that I hate is when people, what do you call it when you, right, it's when you justify, right? Is that what it's called? Justifying text? I'm guessing that's what it is. When see that everything is like, but then you get these weird spaces, right? It looks really ugly, okay? I hate it when people do this. And I get it when people that are not designers do this, but you really fill your mouth that you're like designer and you're an artist and all this bullshit, and then you're doing this. It just doesn't look good. Plus, it also makes it more difficult to read. And then tiny columns like this are difficult to read. Really wide text is also difficult to read. But find a fucking middle ground, man. You look at all this screen space you have. I mean, it's just what that says to me. You didn't have enough text, and you didn't want to think about writing any text, and you didn't have a lot of content. You didn't have a lot of images, and so you said, well, I'm not going to be repeating everything in any base. If I make it really tiny and compact, maybe it'll look longer or something. And then all this space, and then like I'm saying, this is not the same width as this, and it doesn't look good. This is centered. This is kind of centered, but it's to the right, and this is not, it looks weird. It looks really weird. And then this title, again, doesn't have a lot of contrast. And then you have other titles that are like this color, right? Like, let's go to lips. See, this is a title, right? That's a title. And I don't know what H size that is, but that is a title. And then you have this. So that's, see, that would be consistency, right? That's not consistent because I haven't seen that. Have I seen that title somewhere else? I don't think I have. Let me see. Oh, look, it loaded the pigments. Okay, let's look at this. So I don't understand why this is more important than this. See, I would put this on top, right? And then as information, I would add this, right? Or something. Or maybe even, let's just, I'm thinking here. This information could have been in the banner. Like you could have put information like smooth, blendable, blah, 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 whatever shit in there. And then shop pigments. And then boom, you go here, right? It just doesn't make sense, really. And then the other thing is like the other packaging is really dark and you can barely see this thing. Like even this thing that's supposed to be like another logo because this is a logo and then this is like something else which doesn't really have anything to do with this, and it's not in here. It's not in the header. Like why isn't that in the header? So it just seems like I had two logos, think they're kind of cool and I just want to use them, right? But there's no really thought process going into it. And then this is centered, which doesn't really make much sense. So this, I guess he's saying that all of these, pack of 3, brush included. By the way, if you watch the video of the launch, right, It's not a brush. It is a eyeshadow sponge applicator. I mean, a sponge and a brush are not the same thing. I'm sorry. They're not. So you should say sponge. You know, people hate sponge applicators, right? So I guess that's why you put that, but you're kind of lying. I mean, that's kind of a lie, because it's not a brush. And then there's no pictures of the quote-unquote brush. So then you have this, right, which is centered. I don't even know why. Let's go back to the top. So everything's kuckian, developed by kuckian. You know, developed by kuckian again. You know, every saying is kuckian foundation, kuckian whatever. Remember about the good work of the kuckian foundation? Like, they have anything done already? Like, really, what have you done? What has the kuckian? Was there something that they had done that I didn't see? We believe that one good product can change your life. This is so ridiculous. In a cold world, kuckian promises warmth to those who seek it. For the consumer, a truly elite experience. I don't think so. I mean, it's just so ridiculously written. It's so pretentious. It's embarrassing. Like, it's just kind of embarrassing to read, really. So, wait, so I was in Pigment, because now the images were loading. Oh, again, they're not loading again. Wow, this is really great. I don't know who made this website, but that was money well spent. Look, it just doesn't want to. Let's see. Alright, well, there wasn't much to see anyway in this page, so let's go to publication. Again, like I said before, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, we were looking at this, right? And then, okay, so here, he says that he's looking for the exceptional. I mean, if I'm looking for a job in this publication, right, I would never think it's here. See, this makes the user have to read in order to find out. And by the way, honey, the reality is that people don't read. People scan pages. And so when you design a website or a web page, whatever it is, you design with that in mind, that people aren't going to be reading. And so you make things that are visually interesting or catchy, or it's easy to scan visually the page. This page is not easy to scan visually, okay? It's a lot of text, weird spaces. Doesn't really make much sense. Okay, so okay, prejudice or actually, tell me if I'm wrong, right? But kuckian bears no bias or prejudice towards race. Sorry, that's a buzz. Kuckian bears no bias or prejudice towards age, race, influence. Okay, first of all, it would be prejudice against race, right? Wouldn't it be against? I mean, not towards. I mean, am I wrong on that? Because I think it would be kuckian bears no bias or prejudice against age, race, not towards. But again, we know kuckian, and he's pretty much against everything. I mean, pretty much, if you have talent, he's going to hate you. That's pretty much how it goes. So then he says here, each term lasts 3 months. Wow. Yeah, they're going to get a lot of experience there. And then we can barely see it, but it's there. It says roles, editor-in-chief. Lucky guys, they're looking for an editor-in-chief in the kuckian publication. That sounds so exclusive. Senior beauty editor. I mean, this guy is so... who does he think he is? Like, really? Like, you think you're Vogue now? Senior product editor? Again, I just hate to see all these spaces because it's justified. the text is justified. It looks horrible. It makes it harder to read. I don't like it. Just people that don't know how to design do this. They want to justify text, and it's not good. Don't do it. Features editor. Look at all these spaces, all these weird spaces. I mean, just look at editor in chief. There's nothing. I guess you can be whatever. It can be editor in chief. I don't know. Beauty and art directors. Product art directors, designers. Legal and proof. You're gonna need legal, seriously. That you better pay good money for because you're gonna need it. And then look at all of this space. I mean, so let's say I read all of this, which most people won't. And then down here, I probably would think that the page is over here. Like, I'm like, oh, there's nothing else, but, oh, okay. To apply, please include your curriculum vitae, link to portfolio. Why is link in you know, what do you call it, mayúsculas? Why is it capitalized? I mean, it shouldn't be capitalized. And why is this capitalized? Cover letter and portfolio. Like, I don't understand. Why is that capitalized? Okay, whatever. What do I know? Questions to consider for your cover letter. What can you offer kuckian? What sets you above other candidates? I mean, why this role? What do you hope to gain? Because you're not going to gain any money. So, and I don't think you're going to get experience either because 3 months is not enough. So usually companies, they test you for 3 months and then they hire you, right? I mean, I don't know. It's pretty much what happens, right? So I don't think you're going to get paid and I don't think you're going to get enough experience, you know. So I don't think what you're going to be getting there. Please limit your CV to 2 sides. Again, why is this capitalized? I mean, am I wrong here? Like, I don't know, maybe that's fine. I don't know. Good grammar and spelling is essential. Really? I mean, I wouldn't think that was important to you by seeing all of this. And good luck. Definitely, if you apply to this, you're going to need it. Seriously going to need it. Alright, so that was the kuckian publication. Discover. Again, justified. There's kind of a title. You could call this a title, but see, when I scroll, the title is gone. And it's barely visible, like I mentioned before. And then, why? I mean, why? It's just so horrible. You know, when you have justified text and you make the columns or whatever, the width, so small, it makes it look even worse. I just really don't know how somebody that calls themselves like a designer or creative or whatever is doing that, but whatever. And then look at all this space. Like, if the content ends here, I should already be seeing the footer. Why is all this space here? It's just really badly made. Like, really shitty made. And look at all the space here and under it. It's just really bad. You know, this content here is related to these menus here. So why is it so separated? Why? Because this is about, I mean, I'm guessing this is about 200 pixels or something. That's too much separation there. Let's go to our impact. Oh. Here we will share the work of the Kuckian Foundation, but look at that. Like, I would think there's no content here because you go here and you have this gray block or whatever, where the content is inside that gray block. But then, see, one of the heuristics is consistency. That's broken here. You could have had the gray block and this message be inside it. You know? Why not do that? I mean, it's being consistent, right? And then here he has a gray block again. And I don't know that in why people do this. We call it, in Spanish, we call it sangria. This little space before the paragraph. I don't know why he is doing that. This is not a book. I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah, right. He's talking about himself in here. Origins. I mean, why call it origins and not bio? Like biography or something? Like bio? Right? Origins of what? The world? The universe? I don't understand what. And then John Kuckian, of course, he probably thinks that everything revolves around him. So, yeah, it's obviously him. I mean, come on. Like, who else? What else would it be, right? John Kuckian is the founder of Kuckian. Is the founder of. It's the founder of Kuckian. Kuckian Cosmetics. What's Kuckian then? Isn't it Kuckian Cosmetics? Like, I don't know. Kuckian Publication and the Kuckian Foundation. In his early life, Kuckian lived in central London, trading as a conceptual fine artist. Right? So you see, a lot of the stuff, he doesn't say where he studied, right? And I'm guessing he didn't study. I mean, he probably went to high school and stuff, but I don't think he finished university. I don't think he did. And if he did, he should mention it, right? He went to obtain a formal education in medical sciences. Okay, where? Where did you get that? Where did you get that education? I mean, other people say that. It's just so pretentious, right? Will's researching group B step. Oh, God. Oh, right. Oh, he was helping to cure babies or something? I spoke to the bacterium. He began solidifying the foundation for his own child. He's committed. So he could have continued helping babies, but he said, no, I wanna make lipsticks. Ridiculous. This project with endless possibilities to fail, I would say, it's sort of missing that. Allowing for infinite complexity. This is not complex at all. There's no complexity here. Combine Kuckian's adoration of science and bespoke cosmetic formulation with his lifeline of fine art creation. This is not fine art, honey. Kuckian spent long periods of his younger life in darkness. Maybe that's why he's so bitter, but that's why he's angry at everyone and resents everyone, right? And with his voice, he hopes to change the world one lipstick at a time. I don't think so. And then look at all of this space again. And then look at this shit. Makeup is artistry, not products. You're not a makeup artist either. Like, I saw you putting on that makeup on that girl. It was bad. It was really bad. It was uncomfortable to watch, But oh, yes. Look at this. You see, let's right click to look at the image, right? So this, if we see up here, it's a JPEG. Like, why not make it a PNG that's transparent? You could make it a PNG that's transparent. See, that's why. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Wow, do you see this? Wow, what happened here? Oh, wow. So when you go back, it doesn't go back to the page I was in. It goes back to this one. That's not good. Okay. So what I was saying, like this image here, because it's an image, it's a JPEG, but he could have saved it as a PNG, a transparent PNG, and then you wouldn't have this block around it that's like a darker gray. I mean, that's like basic, That's basic stuff. I'm sorry, that's my cat crashing the door. That's just basic stuff. Like, it's not like you have to be a genius to know that. So, let's see. Discover. Oh yeah, we were in Discover, right? Let's look. Let's look at this. Let me just try something here. What if I do, and then I do, and I send it? Oh, okay. What if I do? Sorry, I have like my keyboard is like in Spanish, but I'm used to English, an English keyboard. Let's see. Let's see if it lets it go. Like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Confirm humanity. Before we subscribe, we need you to confirm your. Well, I'm human. I don't know about you, but I am a human. Okay, so we just subscribe the fake email address. Why are they two P.O. Box? I mean, well, there's P.O. Box, and then it's kind of weird. I mean, am I wrong here? Are these the addresses like that? Like, I mean, it's kind of weird, right? You know, just as a side note, I did live in London for like 6 months in the year 2000. So. All right. Nobody. What an idiot. Legal. And then, okay. See, before, okay, so let's go, for example, to lips. See, this is white all around, right? Which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind that. But the thing is how tiny everything is, right? Which I never thought I would complain about that. Or that there would be too much space. I never thought. But this, I mean, this is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Let's go back to legal. So see, you have three different things because you have the completely white. Now see, the background here is like cream. If you go to discover, then you have this gray thing. So there's not a consistency. There's not a consistent look throughout, right? Let's go back to legal. And then this is, I guess, supposed to be a menu again, which you would think maybe he could have done something like this or something. I don't know. I'm guessing because it's so long, he just couldn't figure out another way to do it, and so he put it like this. I mean, you could have dropped down menus. I mean, as long as they're just one level and not 2 or 3, you would have been fine. I mean, it's kind of like really 1990s that you have to be click, 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 click. So many clicks, you know. All right, let's go to legal. And see topics of what. So let me go back here for a second. See, you go to legal, and you see here in the bottom, on the bottom left, you see the page, and it says FAQ.html. This is the FAQ. This is not legal, or maybe it has legal information, but it should be separate from the FAQ. If this is the FAQ, then call it FAQ. People recognize, they know what that means, they understand it, okay? Why do you call it legal? I don't know. So then the list. Okay, so I was reading this earlier today, and the list supposedly is like a newsletter. But see, it's not like it's not like it's been here for years and people know, oh my god, it's the list, it's the kuckian list or whatever. Nobody knows what the list is, and you're making them read it, which again, people don't read on the web. Why don't you just call it our newsletter or something, and then people will get to know it, that is called the list, and then you can take out the newsletter thing and just call it the list. But right now, people don't know that the list is a newsletter, so yeah, that's weird. And then look at this. See, this button should be here, like it was, like it's on the footer. And look, see how it's taller than the fields, the form fields. That's also weird. I mean, wrong. That is wrong, design-wise. Look at how tiny this text is. By signing up, you agree to our privacy policy below. Yeah, I wouldn't agree to anything here. Product care is not the same as, I mean, I'm sorry, this doesn't communicate this, that it's cruelty free and all that, right? The title should communicate that. I really don't get these titles in this color. Like, really, I don't get it. And then, yeah, I've heard someone else talk about, and this is just ridiculous. Why? Like, why would you have this? I'd really like to know what the hell was. It's so stupid. It's really so stupid. And the worst thing is that, yeah, it's just really difficult to read. I mean, why aren't these like this? I don't. You know what I'm thinking? Obviously, he didn't know how to organize the information on the site. Obviously, if he had put this like this other content up here, this would have been way too long because it's like a ton of stuff. Sorry, right? It's like a lot of information. Okay? And then, again, the same thing with all of these. I mean, again, for example, okay, so this is Twitter's help center, right? And you can see how this is designed, thinking about tasks that the user does, like things the users do on their site. So, for example, how do I sign up? What is a direct message? What is a hashtag? How can I find my friends? I forgot my password. Can I tweet videos? See, this is all really very easily and nicely designed. And you see how there's different things. Not everything has to be, what do you call it? Like exactly divided in the middle by exact halves and that kind of crap. See how you have like these are, I mean, it just makes it interesting to read, right? It makes, look at this. Do you see this? It makes it interesting to read. You see the titles are easy to read, you know what the links are because they're clearly seen there. I mean, this is how you make, an FAQ page, right? That's a really nicely done FAQ page, which you don't have, okay? It's a mess. It's a hot mess. And then terms of service, like why are you putting this on your FAQs? And then shipping returns, again, it's just not really well designed, right? These are not tasks that the user does. They're not. And then you just have a list that's, centered. It's just text. There's nothing really there. There's no design. This is not designed. There's no design here. So, I know everybody's mentioned this, but then again, exfoliate is not a word. Okay? And then you're putting this like somehow like we're stupid and we don't know what exfoliate means. Exfoliate doesn't exist, okay? Let's look for, let's look. Let's exfoliate. Why don't we do that? See, exfoliate is not exfoliate. So let's look, actually, what is it? Merriam-Webster's. Yeah. Okay, let's look for exfoliate here. The word you've entered isn't in the dictionary. So, yeah, there's exfoliate, exfoliated, oxflies. Maybe he meant oxflies. You need to put oxflies on your lips. Yeah. Exfoliate is not a word. Okay, so here's another thing that I found. So here he's saying his portfolio of exhibitions quickly grew, exhibiting in venues such as. I mean, am I right here? I mean, English is not my first language, but I'm pretty sure it's such as the prestigious, right? Right? Okay, and then again, he said his success led him. Actually, I'm pretty sure the lead of leading, is it spelled like this? Because I think it's LED, right? I could be wrong. Then again, English is not my first language, but I think it's his successes led him across Europe, right? Okay. Okay, so the other thing is here, right? The Kuckian Foundation is in its early stages. I mean, this "it's" shouldn't have that up. I think it's an apostrophe, right? What it's called? Because when it has the apostrophe, and again, English is not my first language, but it is. You know, it's like it's making it shorter. So it would be the Kuckian Foundation is in its early stages. No, it's without the apostrophe. Without the apostrophe, it's a pronoun, right? A possessive pronoun or something like that. Yeah. So this is wrong. Again. And then, I mean, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, right? You've heard that. Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't be complaining about other people when your stuff is so shitty. Well, I think, wow, look at all that space. Okay, well, I think that's about it. I mean, I'm not going to waste more time on this, but yeah. This has been a real review of the Kuckian website, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.